This is Carolina Haints. Carolina Haints presents Folk, a show about our stories. I'm your host, Dan Sellers. Over the years, we've presented a recurring theme on Carolina Haints, and that's war. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the horrors of war tend to inspire stories of eternal spirits, mysterious buried treasure, and heinous acts of cruelty. But they've also inspired tales of heroism and duty and sacrifice. As you'll recall, in 1781, a decisive battle of the American Revolution was fought in North Carolina, but the weeks leading up to the Battle of Guilford Courthouse were marked with multiple skirmishes. In a spot on the map, not too far from where the battle took place, was a little area called Bruce's Crossroads. It was named after Charles Bruce, a statesman and recruiter for the colonial effort. American General Harry Lee, also known as Light Horse, was camped at Bruce's Crossroads in the middle of February of 1781, when it came to his attention that General Tarleton's men were allegedly camped just a few miles west of their position. Light Horse sent out a small detachment of scouts to verify the news and sent along his 14-year-old bugler, Jamie Gillies. Now, over the centuries, the story of the Bugler Boy has become the thing of folklore legend. A few different accounts have been told over the years as to how Gillis actually met his end. Light Horse Harry Lee even wrote about it in his memoir about the war. He paints the picture that the scouts were spotted by the redcoats and chased down. This was not to be a fighting regiment after all. They retreated back to Bruce's Crossroads from what's now the town of Oak Ridge. Upon reaching a spot that has now been consecrated for this action, the Bugler Boy was killed by British soldiers by the sword. His bugle fell by his side. It was a perfect example of British atrocity. To kill someone famously described as a beardless, unarmed youth was unconscionable and needless. Other versions of the story suggest that the event took place several weeks after the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, and a drunken group of British men fired rounds off carelessly at the Bugler Boy, who was passing by in the darkness, striking and killing him instantly. And to get even further into the weeds, some folks have claimed to see the ghost of the Bugler Boy, marching along the area where the towns of Summerfield, Oak Ridge, and Stokesdale meet. Perhaps on cold, windy nights, if you listen carefully, you can still hear the toot-toot-tooting of Gillies' bugle. Today, Bruce's Crossroads is now the incorporated town of Summerfield, which has its own historical marker to commemorate the Bugler Boy. The marker reads, Jamie Gillis, Light Horse Harry Lee's teenage bugler, was killed near this spot by Tarleton's British Dragoons February 12, 1781. Gillies accompanied a small posse of revolutionaries from a camp near present-day Summerfield to verify reports of nearby loyalists to the west. They were spotted, chased, and Gillies was caught and killed by the sword during the retreat to warn Lee of the advancement. He is buried in the Charles Bruce family cemetery in Summerfield. The town of Summerfield wasn't incorporated until 1996, and honored the sacrifice of the Bugler Boy. The town included his image into the town seal. In addition to the roadside historical marker, there's a Bugler Boy historical site commemorating the spot where he was killed, and another marker dedicating the Charles Bruce family cemetery that includes the final resting place of the brave young Gillies. Perhaps the story of the Bugler Boy inspired the American troops who would rally behind it. After all, the Battle of Guilford Courthouse was the decisive battle in which Lord Cornwallis himself declared the Americans fought like demons. Who knows? Maybe the sacrifice of the Bugler Boy was what they needed to fight the hard fight. This episode was brought to you by Wreak Havoc Productions and Carolina Haints Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting folklore storytelling throughout the Carolinas. You can find more about us, including our book, upcoming tour dates, and legends and lore markers, at our website, carolinahaints.com. This episode marks the end of the first season of Folk. But don't worry, we'll be back with another 12 episodes starting this January. Tune in then to keep the folklore tradition of oral storytelling alive.